You thought the drama was over. You thought the tension had cooled down after the life sentence judgment in November. Well, think again. The situation involving Nnamdi Kanu has just taken a terrifying new turn, and this time it is not about legal arguments or court adjournments. It is about life and death in a literal war zone. The headline you saw is screaming the truth. Nnamdi Kanu's legal team has raised a massive alarm, declaring that Sokoto State, where the federal government moved him for maximum security, is no longer safe for him. Why? Because as of Christmas Day, Sokoto has officially become a bombing ground for the United States military. This is the irony of the century. The government took Kanu from the DSS dungeon in Abuja and moved him to Sokoto prison, claiming it was a secure and protected location. But barely a month later, President Donald Trump ordered powerful and deadly airstrikes right there in Sokoto to wipe out ISIS terrorists. Now, Kanu's lawyer, Aloy Ejimakor, is asking the question every sensible person is asking. How can a man be safe in a state that foreign superpowers are bombing? Let's break down exactly what is happening, because the timeline is chilling. Back in November 2025, just hours after Justice James Omotosho sentenced Kanu to life imprisonment, the DSS secretly moved him to the Sokoto Correctional Centre. At the time, Aloy Ejimakor fought against this, calling it surprising and insensitive because it cut Kanu off from his family and doctors. But the government insisted. They said Abuja was too porous, too noisy. They wanted him somewhere quiet. Well, that quiet location just woke up to the sound of Tomahawk cruise missiles and Reaper drones. On December 25th, Christmas Day, U.S. Africa Command, AFRICOM, confirmed they launched precision strikes against ISIS and the Lakurawa group in Sokoto State. President Trump himself posted on Truth Social that he directed these strikes to stop the killing of Christians. Now, imagine being Nnamdi Kanu sitting in his cell in that same state, hearing the ground shake, knowing that the world police are dropping bombs in your neighborhood. The legal team is not taking this lightly. They are arguing that by keeping him in a location designated as a theater of war, the federal government is deliberately endangering his life. Remember, in warfare, there is something called collateral damage. Missiles miss. Intelligence fails, debris falls. Just look at what we heard about the explosion in Ofar recently. If a US missile meant for a terrorist camp goes off course, or if the terrorists decide to attack the prison in retaliation or to use it as a shield, Kanu is a sitting duck. His lawyers are pointing out that under the Geneva Convention and even Nigerian law, you cannot keep a high-profile political prisoner in an active conflict zone. Sokoto is no longer just a state in the northwest, it is now an active battlefield for the US Department of War. If you are following this high-stakes game of chess and you want to keep getting the raw, unfiltered updates that the mainstream media might be too scared to break down, please smash that like button right now. It helps us push this truth to more Nigerians. And if you haven't subscribed yet, click that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. We are tracking every move in this story, and you need to be the first to know if they decide to move him again. The reaction from the federal government has been to downplay the risk. Minister of Foreign Affairs Yusuf Tuga has been on TV hailing these airstrikes as a collaborative, carefully planned operation that respects Nigerian sovereignty. They are using words like precision hits to make us feel safe. But let's be honest, does precision guarantee safety? The US military admitted they targeted multiple locations in Sokoto. The lawyer's argument is simple. The risk is non-zero, and for a man of Kanu's status, non-zero risk is unacceptable. They are likely going to file an urgent application to move him back to Abuja, or as Ejimakor suggested back in November, to a neutral zone like the East, citing the precedent of Chief Obafemi Awolowo, who was moved to a neutral zone in the 60s. There's also a conspiracy angle that is starting to gain traction on social media. People are asking, did the Nigerian government know these strikes were coming when they moved him in November? Did they move him to Sokoto knowing it would become a hot zone? It sounds wild, but in Nigerian politics, nothing is impossible. The timing is just too suspicious. You move the country's most sensitive prisoner to a remote border state in November, and in December, the US military starts bombing that exact state. It raises serious questions about whether his safety was ever the priority, or if he was being used as a pawn in a bigger geopolitical game involving the US and counter-terrorism. We must also look at the ISIS factor. The US claims they are targeting ISIS West Africa and the Lakurawa group in Sokoto. These terrorists are not ghosts. They are armed, dangerous, and desperate. If they feel cornered by American bombs, their next move could be unpredictable. They could stage a prison break to free their own members, putting everyone else in that facility, including Kanu, in the crossfire. We have seen prison breaks in Nigeria before. The Kuje jailbreak is still fresh in our memories. Now imagine a prison break scenario with US drones hovering overhead. It's a recipe for disaster. So where do we go from here? The demand is clear. Move him now. The argument that Sokoto is secure has been shattered by the sound of explosions. You cannot claim a place is safe when the President of the United States is tweeting about bombing it. Nnamdi Kanu's family, his legal team, and his millions of supporters are watching with bated breath. Will President Tinubu listen to reason and transfer him back to a non-combat zone, or will he double down and insist that the US precision is enough protection? This is a developing situation, and with every airstrike report that comes in from the northwest, the clock is ticking. We'll be right here to tell you what happens next.